Hello, and we're live. Oh my goodness. Really a little bit nervous right now. It's my first live stream. I see I have one person in here right now. So, hello, one person. Welcome. Всем привет. Как вы все? Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Я американка. Сейчас в России. I'm an American woman, and currently I'm in Russia. This is my first time here. Um, Probably should introduce myself a little bit. Okay, so um, my name is Christina. Меня зовут Christina, and I live in America, in Tennessee, and I've been married to a Russian man for 14 years. I don't know how to say 14 in Russian, so I'm not going to try. um, Although I can count to like 8, maybe 9 right now, but I'm learning Russian as quickly as I can because I love talking to people, and it's frustrating when I can't do so effectively. So I've been married to a Russian man now for 14 years. I am a United States Army veteran. I was a medic in the military. I served in Iraq in 2008. And when I came home from Iraq, I was really eager to start a family. I ended up meeting my husband online on a website called AmishAmerica.net. And he was in Russia at the time, and the whole time I was in Iraq, there was like no grass, there was very little trees, it was just desert. And while I was there, I grew a lot in my faith and just really desired to come home and plant a garden, have a family, have a bunch of farm animals. And so when I got home, I was kind of having a little bit of PTSD type stuff. And there was like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes where I Googled, can I become Amish? I'm not Amish, but I grew up a little bit in Ohio around Amish people. And so I was on a message board and I was scrolling through, and it was all about converting to Amish. And I thought to myself, I am a soldier. And if I married an Amish man, he would never understand me because they're pacifists. And as I saw a young man named Eugene, and he said, "Hi, I'm Eugene. I've been wanting to be Amish for some time now, and I'm looking for a female partner to join me. Please email me at I want to be Amish at." I'm not going to go ahead and give you that address, but uh, so I was like, "Oh my gosh, another person that's interested in this." And so we started talking, and eventually he came to America. We got married. Now we have 4 children together, and in the whole time that we've been married, I've never been to Russia. And so in September, I thought, it's time. I want to meet his mother. I was really nervous his family might be mad because I haven't gone to see them yet, and I took their son, and he hadn't come back to Russia but only one time. So I started doing the process to come over here just for a visit, and I had many reasons why I wanted to come. Wanted to see it, but then while I was doing the process, my daughter, who is my oldest daughter, she she was really struggling in school, and she was being bullied very badly, and she ended up in the hospital for depression. So she's a dual citizen. My oldest two are dual citizens currently. And I thought, I'm going to go to Russia anyway. Let me take my girls to Russia as well. And hopefully that might help with the depression and also the bullying. It's a lot of racial bullying that's going on in the schools in America, especially if you're white. And then on top of it, them being Russian, she's been called all kinds of names, and it really made her depressed. So I decided to bring my 2 daughters with me, and we arrived in Moscow just last week. It was like December 28th. And I had a lot of fear come like before I came. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I mean, I even vomited before I left for the airport. I was absolutely terrified because my whole life, all I've heard is that Russia is a bad place and that they're communist, that if you're American and you come to Russia at the airport, they will interrogate you. They'll go through your things, they'll put trackers on your phone, you could get thrown in the gulag. Um, and excuse me, and also that as a person of deep faith, that Russia's atheist and that there is no freedom of religion here. And so I didn't know what to expect. And I was praying really hard before I came here. And I was like, God, why am I going to Russia? I could hear the calling to come. It was very loud and clear, and it wasn't leaving me. So I prayed to God, why am I going? And every single time, the response I got was, come and see. And so I made it here, did not have any problems getting here. Nobody interrogated me at the airport. There was a long line for passport control. Of course, I had my two children with me, so you might think that maybe I didn't have any issues because I had children with me. But there was a man who was in front of me who was also an American man, and he didn't have any issues either. So got here, and I was really scared because I didn't know anyone, at least not in person. And so when my husband's family met me at the airport, they were so warm and welcoming. And we got on the metro, which, by the way, Moscow Metro is really good. It's a really great metro system. Kind of like a maze, a little bit intimidating. There's a lot of trains, but the trains always run on time and it's clean and not dangerous or anything like that. Unlike New York subways. um, anyway, so we got to rent a flat for a few days. My children had jet lag really bad. They had the schedule of vampires, essentially. Like they slept all day and were awake all night long. The One of the reasons I wanted to try to come this time of year, some people think I'm crazy for coming to Russia in the middle of winter, was there is a fantastic Christmas festival in Moscow that runs from mid-December to mid-January. And I've always wanted to see it. I've seen videos on YouTube. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Lights everywhere. Just so many things. They set up a full Christmas village right there in the Red Square. Um, so I was anxious to go to the Red Square and see it. And I left my children at the flat and went to the Red Square because they would not wake up. And so my thumbnail for this video is literally I had just walked onto the Red Square, went straight to St. Basil's Cathedral and snapped a little selfie. It's beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. There's a really big mall that's right there off of the Red Square called the Goom. It's spelled like gum, but it's pronounced goom. And it's beautiful as well. The first meal that I had when I got to Russia was pizza, something that I'm very familiar with, and was quite impressed that I had ordered it in Russian. But there were people that were coming up to me and speaking English, and I hadn't even said a word. And so I'm like, how do they know? Like, do I just look American? I don't want to stand out. So, anyway, it was great. Very short visit to the Red Square. And then the temperatures when I got here was right around 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And on New Year's Eve, I would say the temperature dropped like crazy cold, absolutely insane. But I will say that I did not freeze to death. You just put on a sweater and dress in an appropriate way, and you'll be okay. Um, First impressions of Russia. So I grew up in America, and when you grow up in an environment, it's normal for you. And I didn't realize uh, how it really was until I was able to step out of it. Uh, in in Russia, it is clear to me that the society wants people to be happy, and there's a lot of activities, beautiful things. There's adult swings. It's almost like a winter wonderland in Moscow, and people are, although it's very frigid, cold sometimes, especially this time of year. That's really the only bad thing that I've experienced is the cold, but inside you feel so warm. I feel almost like I've stepped out of an abusive relationship and seen something different for the first time in my life. In America, um, it's like they want people to be afraid. They want people to be paranoid, to be, split up, have conflict, and a lot of paranoia. And here in Russia, people are generally pretty happy. And, everything's set up to have high morale for everyone. And people have a sense of togetherness. And that's probably the thing that shocked me the most was just how different the mentality is between America and Russia. Just in general, the atmosphere is one where they want you to be happy. But in America, it's almost like they want you to be depressed and medicated and all of these things. I have not smiled and laughed this much since I can't remember when. I've gone through a lot of trauma in America, and I don't really want to get into it right now, but I'm really truly happy here, and I'm considering staying. I've seen my daughter smiling, and for me, that is everything. Uh, there's a lot of like transgender kind of stuff in America, and the one line that they say, "Would you rather have a living daughter or a dead son?" And I can say, I would rather have a living daughter here in Russia than be in America and have a child that's committed suicide. And so I'm very seriously considering staying here. Um, and maybe this is a bit of a honeymoon phase right now. Of course, probably is, but meeting the in-laws and the family, man, if I had come sooner, I would be living here already. That's the truth. And I've told everyone that. Little does my husband know that he might just have to come on and come back to Russia and be with his wife, 2 children. The reason he's not here right now is because he's currently working in Tennessee, and our 2 youngest boys do not have their dual citizenship yet. So he's waiting on the paperwork for that. And when that happens, we're all going to come here together. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions so far while I take a drink? I'm looking at the chat, but nobody said anything yet. Mm. Okay. Well, okay. Well, currently I am in the region known as, my daughter's dancing and she's smiling. It's amazing. Um, Currently, I'm in the Stavropol region, which is in the south. The weather here, unlike all of the films of Russia, is always snowing, it's always cold. In Stavropol, the weather is much more similar to how it is where I live at home. Today, I'm going to say it in Russian, Pagoda Adielnaya, which means the weather was perfect. And from the balcony here in this apartment, I can see the Caucasus Mountains, and they are huge, absolutely huge. They look like they're close, but everyone told me it's like a 3 or 4 hour drive to the Caucasus Mountains. but you can see it from here because they're that big. I love the Smoky Mountains at home. They're beautiful. That's my favorite place to be in America is the Smoky Mountains and nature. And I have never in my life seen mountains like this. They're just humongous and gorgeous. And apparently, people really like to ski here, snowboard, that sort of thing. I am not going to try that because I might die. um, so I will keep my feet firmly planted on the ground, except for when I'm in an airplane, and pray to God that everything goes well. Um, Today in Russia, it is Christmas. They are mostly Orthodox, Russian Orthodox Christians here. I went to church at the local cathedral. I don't know how to screen share yet, but as I kind of get more acquainted with the technology to do live streams, perhaps I'll be able to share some photos with you. I did share a short from New Year's. Uh, they had me try raw fish with salt, and I never even tried fish until I was like 20 years old. On my birthday, my best friend took me to Red Lobster, told me to close my eyes, and he had like a whole spread on the table, and I tried these different things. And turns out I do like shrimp and crab meat and things like that, but never in my life have I tried raw fish until New Year's. So I shared a short on my channel of trying raw fish for the first time. I didn't like it. I did not like it. Um, and they also had red caviar and black caviar. And if you want, I'll share a short of that as well. Me trying red caviar, which, whew, no, no. My parents always told me when I was a child that when trying something new, try it 3 times because the first time that you try something new, it'll be a shock to your taste buds. Second time, you'll start to get a little bit more used to it. And then by the third bite, you know whether you like it or not. And I can tell you with all certainty, I do not like red caviar. Uh, I was trying to explain to my Russian family the this thing called pop boba. If you're familiar with it, it's in milk tea, something that's really kind of gaining in popularity in America, and I believe it originates from Thailand potentially. And I was telling them, okay, so you have a sweet milk tea, and then they put these bubbles that are filled with a very sweet fruit flavor, and when they give you a big straw as you drink the tea, those bubbles come in your mouth and then they pop, and it's kind of delightful actually. Uh, but caviar was kind of like boba, but with fish. And my husband did not tell them that I'm a comedian. So I told them about boba, and they said, maybe it'll be better if we put it in chai. And they're like, what? So, um, anyway, then I tried black caviar, and that actually wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. I was kind of surprised. We had a really great New Year's. We went to the Space Pavilion, um, which is where the first rave ever in Moscow or in Russia happened. In right at the very end of the USSR, they had advertised it as foreign business partners getting together for business meeting, and it was just a full blown rave at the Space Pavilion. But there was some famous lady who looked like a snow princess up on stage singing, and the snow was falling like glitter from the sky, and everybody was dancing. It was fantastic. We were right in front of the Fountain of Friendship, which during the warmer months, has water. Like it's really beautiful. Um, the people here um, are extremely kind, extremely open to meeting new people, and they embrace you like they've known you their whole lives. And you you don't get that impression when you're in America, but coming here and seeing it as it was just complete shock to the system, but in a good way. Um, let's see, they do know how to party here in Russia for New Year's. I will say that much. They had canceled the fireworks over the Kremlin, which was kind of disappointing, but people are still setting off fireworks. They have these big fireworks just like we do in America, 4th of July. Last night, some crazy people were setting off big fireworks nearby at like 3 in the morning. And I opened the window and then I hear somebody yelling at them. It's kind of cool and kind of funny. Let's see. So I will be returning to Moscow in a few days. We're going to go see some places. My children will stay here with their grandparents while I go to Moscow for a few days to meet with some of my internet friends. Wish me luck. Okay. Pray that everything goes well. Um, the people that I've become acquainted with online seem to be really, really good people. And so I'm looking forward to meeting with them. I think we're going to go to the Christmas Village for one, because I mean, my kids missed it completely, but that will be done January 14th. So I want to go see that for sure before it's finished and really get to experience it. My daughter did go with me one day, briefly. My other daughter was sick, unfortunately. And we went to the Red Square, to the Christmas Village. I'm learning to read Russian, but I'm not very good at it yet. I'm learning to speak Russian, and it's happening quickly, but I'm not very good at it yet. And so I ordered myself and my daughter a Christmas drink, and she's 13 years old. She almost got an alcoholic beverage, but fortunately, the worker uh, wanted to verify, are you wanting alcohol? And I was like, "Niet, niet." My daughter, she was like, "Ooh, am I gonna get some alcohol?" Like, I was like, "No, no." I don't know what this Christmas drink was, but it was warm, it was sweet. I could taste cinnamon, I could taste tea, some fruit flavors in it. It was really, really good. And then I was lured by the scent of something on the grill, and they were making shishlik. They had pork and chicken shishlik, and that's something that my husband enjoys making at home on the open fire. And so I'm familiar with it. And so my daughter and I, we ate shishlik. People watched a little bit. There was some ice skating. I did not get involved in that because I don't want to break my tailbone. um, and besides that, the cobblestone on the red square was frozen over and a little bit slippery. And so I kind of felt like I was ice skating anyway. Um, and then, yeah, my husband's cousins were like, "Okay, you're coming to our house. Come on, we're coming to get you." So we went and spent a couple days with them, very welcoming. It was amazing. And then their son was surprised. He got to fly to the south to see his grandmother, and we all went together. Russian Airlines, it's pretty good. They actually feed you, like really feed you a meal, even with a 3-hour flight. And tickets are rather inexpensive. Everything here is a lot less expensive. It's kind of a shock. Uh, in America, we're taxed like 50%, depending on what your income is. It's about 50% when you add up all the taxes you pay, your income tax, your uh, property tax, taxes when you go to the grocery store, tariff tax, gasoline, everything. Here, I think they said the income tax is somewhere around 13%, yet social programs are a lot better here. They are not communists. I want to confirm that they are not communists anymore. I just, everybody seems to still think that they are, but they're not. I would actually say that this country is probably a lot better than it used to be. In the last 20, 24 years, they've had um, my daughter. I can hear the echo. What? Hmm? Tell them how much it costs.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter interrupted me. She needed shoes and got new shoes yesterday. Really nice shoes for $10. 10 US dollars. I mean, these shoes probably would have cost us around at least $60, $70 in America. Grocery prices are a lot cheaper. Your money can go further. And I understand that people's income also is not necessarily what it is in America, but their money does go further here. In Moscow, especially city center, things are going to be a lot more expensive. It's definitely a showcase city for sure. But the further out you get, the less expensive it is. And I'm in a regular town now, and it's not bad. I mean, we could live here very comfortably, very easily. And the apartment I'm in right now is the same apartment that my husband grew up in during the USSR times. It's a Soviet era apartment. They have central heating. I'm very hot right now. But outside today, it was about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or yeah, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, very warm. So, ja, жарко means I'm hot. um, I don't know what to say really right now, other than I love Russia and I feel very much at home here. I cannot wait to share some of the things that we'll be doing in the next several weeks. I'm supposed to leave at the end of January, and that's still up for discussion. I might just stay. I really might just stay. Um, my thoughts on it are that this year I'm a little bit nervous about being in America with the amount of destabilization that we're experiencing and fighting among people, um, and the election this year. I kind of want to just stay here in Russia until after the election, see what happens, because the last thing I want is to be stuck in the middle of a civil war. And I pray to God that that's not what is going to happen. I pray to God that we have peace. I pray that, you know, somehow, whether if it's not our governments doing the diplomacy, at least person to person diplomacy can really go a long way. People here in Russia, they are they're a lot like us. They might not smile with their teeth like we do, and I think I figured out why, because when I went outside on New Year's and the sun was shining and I smiled really big, my teeth started hurting because they like froze and my hair was a little bit wet and it was so stiff. It was kind of funny. And I said to Denise, the cousin, I said, I understand now why you guys don't smile with your teeth showing, or when you talk, your mouth is kind of closed, because if you show your teeth, they'll freeze. And he was like, nah, nah, it's true. So let's see. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the church. Hang on, let me take a drink because I'm nervous. I've got dry mouth. Привет, Natalia. Как дела? Um, Here I am. So I was gonna do a live stream last night. I think Natalia might be the cousin. I was invited to my husband's brother's house, and I was greeted with a full welcoming committee, full spread on the table, and a lot of alcohol. And so I was gonna come back last night and do a live stream, but I no. Sojourner for Christ is my screen name, and it would have been Drunken Sojourner for Christ in Russia, would have been my first live stream. And I didn't want to do that. Normally, I don't drink, but there was a lot of wine involved and a lot of toasting um, to peace was one thing we toasted a lot to. Um, Nostrovia is not what they say. Everybody in America seems to think that when they do a cheers, it's like Nastorovia. Нет, no. In Russian, they say Zastrovia. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's not Nastrovia. Um, the language is interesting. There's a lot of words really similar to English. Once you learn to read Cyrillic, which I'm learning to do right now with a couple books, I'll show you, like this one, Russian Script Hacking. It teaches the alphabet, teaches how to read and write in the written Russian. Um, and I'm practicing reading with this book, Short Stories in Russian. It's for beginners. Um, a lot of the words, once you learn the alphabet, are very similar, so it's not that difficult. Like, for example, supermarket, it's the same word. It's just the C is pronounced like an S, the Y is pronounced like an U, the P looks like this, and the letter P is pronounced like R. So, you know, I figured out where the store was pretty easily. Salon, spa, store also is called magazine here. Um, so yeah, learning the language. And today, Babushka took me to St. George Cathedral here in this town is Georgievsk, and it's named after St. George. Uh, beautiful, beautiful cathedral. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone and show you where we were. Um, all right, can you see this? This is the cathedral we went to visit today, and inside was just absolutely stunning. Um, I'm not Orthodox. Everyone asks me, what religion are you? And I don't really identify as any particular religion other than I am a follower of Yeshua, Jesus Christ. When I was 20 years old, I felt a personal calling to the Lord, and I started reading my Bible, and I believe everything that it says. Not I'm not really Protestant. I mean, there's there's uh there's a lot of things about the church in America right now that is not really going in a good direction. We can talk about that more some other time. For the last 10 years, I've been uh, kind of going to a Messianic Jewish type church. And recently, that seems to be not necessarily the place for me anymore. Um, in October, uh, with what's going on in Israel, sorry, I'm getting really sad about it. I'm just not happy about what's happening over there, and I cannot get on board with um, the genocide. Um, I definitely condemn Hamas, but what's happening right now is not good. And so I've lost a lot of friends recently. It feels like makes me really sad. I just I really want peace, and being a medic in the army, seeing the children just absolutely breaks my heart, knowing that the hospitals are being targeted, that the mosques, the churches are being targeted. I want so much to run to them and just love them, like the children. Um, yeah, children are innocent. Babies are innocent. There's been babies born in Gaza during this conflict that have also died, and I just can't. But uh, so the even before October, the door was kind of closing for me with the Torah observant community. There's a lot to it. It's not a bad thing. Like when we go through our walk with the Lord, He takes us through different places, and as we go and we learn things. I've learned so much about uh, you know I've come even deeper with my relationship with the Lord through the last 10 years, learning about the Old Testament, learning about Torah, learning about not only like, okay, Protestant churches tend to focus a lot on grace, almost to a like they're almost hyper grace where just do what you want and everything's good. Whereas, Torah, some Torah people can be very much stuck in the law, and it's almost like they forsake and forget about the grace aspect. And there was something that happened earlier this year that really really hurt me. And so right after that, I have a little farm in Tennessee, and I have a small little community on it. And Natasha, babushka next door, there's a Russian Ukrainian family that lives next door. And we all kind of have a little village going on out there. And Natasha asked me if I would be open to this young man coming and living on our farm. And he was Orthodox, or he is Orthodox. And so I was like really excited because, I've never met an Orthodox person before. And when he came out to the farm, it's like he talked about it all the time. And so I was like, God, what's the plan here? Are you guiding me in this direction? I'm sure that there's definitely some things for me to learn. There's things about the Orthodox faith, their traditions and stuff that I do have some hesitancies about. I'm not gonna lie. I will always stick to my convictions. Okay, so when it comes to uh, the relics and things like that, I'm you know I'm going to stick to my convictions, and hopefully we'll have some interesting conversations and we'll learn, and hopefully as well I want to help strengthen people in their faith. I was gifted a couple of icons today. I'll show them to you. I'm not going to worship the icons, okay? But it was still very touching for me to get these icons today. It's like, yeah. So I'll show you what they gave me, and when they gave them to me, I cried. I was just really touched by it. So here is this is St. George the Victorious, and I don't know a whole lot about him, but this is what town is named after, St. George, and it shows that he was trampling on a dragon. Interesting story. Yesterday, we were in the town square and we were looking at a statue of St. George. And Diedushka, grandfather, was trying to explain to us a little bit about it. And these two women were there, and they heard me speaking English. And the one woman said, "Oh, Angliski." And I was like, da, yad Americanka. I'm American. And she was an English teacher and a Jehovah's Witness in Russia. So, as you can imagine, I had so many questions for this woman, because in 2017 there was laws passed that uh, makes it illegal to proselytize certain sects of Christianity, like Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormonism or um, certain kinds of Pentecostal. There are a lot of Baptists here. There are Protestants, there's Pentecostals, but uh, I think I read it was like 60% of people identify as Orthodox. And so uh, I have talked about faith every single day to someone, and it has not been an issue. Although I have not seen anybody like standing on the streets on the corner with a bullhorn evangelizing. I'm not, I was told that that's not illegal, but there is a certain way to do it, a proper way to do it, and a wrong way to do it. One of the things besides coming and seeing Russia and getting to know the family, um, considering moving here, one of the other major goals that I have is to really discover what faith is like here in Russia. And you know, I love Jesus so much. And the three biggest religions in Russia is of course Orthodox Christianity. There's other like Baptists and all that stuff. Um, Muslim, Islam, and Buddhism. Those are the three biggest religions here in Russia. And not too many people know this, but before I was a Christian, I became a Christian when I was 18. And I really came to full faith when I was 20. But before that, I was actually Buddhist. And I would go to the Buddhist temples and these different meetings. And, we'd do a little gong and woo and chant and stuff. So I'm familiar with that. For me, it really, how do I put it? Um, Buddhism is like a philosophy. I mean, yeah, it's a religion for some people, for a lot of people, but the philosophy behind it is about ending suffering. And basically, suffering originates from, according to their philosophy, um, desires and wanting things. And, that's where the suffering happens, or something like that. It's been a long time. Um, and when I was younger, I really struggled with a lot of things. And I suffered a lot. I've suffered, I mean, life, we are sanctified through trials and tribulations. And so Jesus says, in this world you have trouble, but I give you my peace. And so we suffer a lot in this life. But when you believe in Jesus, there's not going to be suffering in the next life. And that's an amazing hope that we have. So the thing about, when I was younger with Buddhism is that, it even if I meditated for hours and chanted for hours and tried to empty my mind of the stuff that makes me suffer, it didn't change my life. It didn't, I was still alone. I was still going through all of the stuff that I was going through, but I was alone. And when I got to know Jesus, I, I've never been alone. And that's completely like won me over. Absolutely. So, uh, I, when it comes to talking about faith, I try to find the common ground and meet people where they are. And my thing, I'm not a street evangelist. I am somebody who has relationships with people, and ministry, it's relational ministry. Um, and I have a lot of familiarity as well with, I have a lot of Muslim friends, and I can talk with them very easily about faith. And one of the kind of the wrong way to evangelize in Russia is to sow division, or to make people feel like they're being condemned in some way. It's disturbing the peace sort of thing. You don't, like, they have freedom here, but your freedom ends where another person's freedom begins. And so some people, we have we almost have a little bit too much permissiveness in America. We've got like the Westboro Baptist Church that holds up the sign that's like God hates fags kind of thing. That would never fly here in Russia because that would be causing a lot of condemnation, and it would be the opposite of bringing peace. What people really need is hope, and people desire peace and hope. And there's a lot of people suffering in this world. It's been a very hard couple of years, and things don't look like they're improving. So we need to give hope to people and find that common ground. Like I said, I am not Orthodox. I what they would refer to me now as an inquirer. I'm open to exploring my faith further through the Orthodox Church. I'm praying that my daughters, especially the oldest one, will come to know the Lord and just absolutely fall in love with God. And maybe hi, Wild Siberia. Maybe she's going to fall in love with God through the Orthodox Church. I just know that God's called me here to Russia for a reason, and He's been opening the door for some reason within this last year, where I've been meeting all these Orthodox people, and it's definitely got my attention. And God says, "Come and see." So here I am. I don't have any like preconceived what's the word? Like, I don't have my own agenda. I just want to follow where God leads me to. And so anyway, I showed you the icon of St. George. Um, they gave me this one. This is Jesus and Mother Mary, and you know, it's just, a lot of my friends in Protestantism, they would say, you cannot have these images. Well, do you take photos of your family and do you put them up on the wall? Because how is that different? I understand that they might not actually look like this, but it's to remind us of them. It's as my friend Boris, who has told me so much about Orthodoxy in the last 6 months. Um, it's just a reminder of your loved ones, of the saints before us, and they do venerate the saints. I definitely believe in the Ten Commandments, and I have many, many questions regarding the second commandment. And hopefully, in the next week or two, when I go on this tour that somebody's going to take me on of all these different monasteries and cathedrals in the Golden Circle, hopefully I'll be able to have some conversations, and nobody will get mad at me for the questions I have. And I have a feeling they aren't going to get mad at me. So, yeah. Uh, let's see. Well, I want to just give a shout out real quick to Wild Siberia. He's in the chat right now, and he has a YouTube channel that when I was so afraid to come to Russia, uh, you're welcome, пожалуйста, when I was so afraid to come to Russia, and but I was still following the calling and I was doing the process. They started sending me some of his videos, and he's another veteran as well. And he's not a political guy, he's not like trash talking America or anything like that. But um, his YouTube channel, just he's opening up Russia for us here in the West to see it as it is, and sharing his experiences. And very nice guy. I was fascinated by the video he did of the metro, of all the statues, and all the babushkas go and touch the statues. And I got to see that station. It was really cool. I can't remember where it was, uh, but there'll be another opportunity, I'm sure, for me to explore the metro a little bit more. So if you get a chance, go to Wild Siberia's channel here on YouTube. Give him a like and a subscribe. He's in Mexico right now. Pray for him too. that whatever he's going through with regards to stuff from having been in the military, that he experiences healing and comes home quickly back to Russia, because this place is amazing. And I hope I get to go see Siberia soon. I told Babushka that I also want to try ice dipping. And I told my friends, since Epiphany is coming up on the 19th, that I will try anything at least once. Absolutely, I would love to see Lake Baikal. Um, so stay tuned, because if indeed they cut a hole in the ice for me up there in the really frigidly cold northern area, I will try ice dipping at least once. And I'm telling myself right now that I'm going to be tough. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to do this. I'm going to play it cool. But I don't know. They might just have to drag me and throw me in. So, like, it might make for a really funny video. I don't know. But we're going to go to, like I said, I'm going to go to Moscow in a few days. And with the friends that I'm meeting, we're going to go to the Armed Forces Cathedral. It's huge. Like, it looks, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Um, don't expect me to in any way like criticize it because nope, not gonna happen. But it looks very impressive. And right next to it is a Patriot Park that I saw Jackson Hinkle driving tanks and having a blast at. It's like an amusement theme park where children and families go, and they drive the tanks around, and I don't know, it looks really interesting. So you know, I am definitely having a great time of my life, actually. And there's lots to see and do here. Russia's uh, very Bolshoi. It's very big, and there's so much to see that I don't even think I could see all of it in a lifetime. Um, One thing I definitely want to tell you guys about before I go. So I was hanging out, cooking some food with Babushka, and I started singing Russian songs that I've been practicing. And I was singing them in Russian. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, you know, Polyushka Polya?" Like, yeah, I do. And also, uh, uh, there's this one song that last night we sang. I'll post it on the channel. My friend had sent me this song, and he said that if you have never gotten drunk and tried to sing this song, then you've never officially been drunk. Well, last night, I can say 100% I was officially drunk, and we all sang this song together, and it was a really good time. So I'll post that as well. But when Babushka heard me singing songs in Russian, they got really excited and started showing all these different videos on YouTube. And then, oh my gosh, like, they showed this thing called the sword dance. It's like this ancient dance that the Cossacks do. And like these women, like completely beautiful Russian women in dresses, in scarves, they're swinging those swords around and like, whoo. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I have goals now. Like, I definitely want to learn to do this. And I said to my father, I said, what do you think the family reunions would be like if I start, I go to the family reunion and I know how to do the thing and I'm swinging the swords around? And he was like, they will be both fascinated and absolutely terrified. And so I'm like, I definitely want to learn to do that. And if you get a chance, look up the Cossack, Cossack, Cossack sword dance. You will not be disappointed. It is pretty awesome. And I hope to see it in person. Dyadushka told me that traditionally they always have a saber in their home and a horse. And I said, well, I've got a horse at home, so I guess I'm halfway there already. Um, so anyway, I'm sure we'll do another live stream soon. And I'm going to go ahead and go now. Um, Thank you for coming to my first live stream. Welcome. If you are not subscribed to me, please like the video, please subscribe. I would love to share more things as we do this journey together. And yeah, this is a Snovum Goldum, which means Happy New Year. And I don't know how to say Merry Christmas in Paruski, but Merry Christmas to you. And we'll see you soon. All right. До свидания. Пока.